Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is gonna be a little bit different. As you can tell, I'm not wearing any makeup and I'm wearing a little comfy sweater. This is probably my fourth or fifth time trying to record this video for you guys. It's my postpartum video, like postpartum depression video. So yeah. Okay, so this is a very hard topic for me to talk about, but I know that there's probably more people that are suffering with it, and I just want to give my side of the story and everything that happened. Hopefully this could help anybody else. Okay, so let's begin when I first found out I was pregnant. So we're gonna go all the way back. So I found out I was pregnant somewhere around May. I want to say like the ending of May. I already suffered from anxiety and I was taking antidepressants for anxiety. Me and my husband, we were only dating at the time. And it was a very we were surprised and we didn't know what to expect, just for the fact that he was leaving on deployment that same year, like the December of that same year. So we didn't know what to expect, and I think like the whole time that I had that in the back of my mind, like I was gonna be by myself for a couple of months until he came back. If you don't know what a deployment is, it's pretty much they go out to sea for 6 or 7 months, and they hit ports, which ports are like when they visit other countries and stuff like that. So he was gonna go on a 7 month deployment. So yeah. Yeah, so after we found out, we found out that I was having a baby, that we were expecting a baby, that I was pregnant. My anxiety went from being controllable to just being off the roof all the time. And throughout my pregnancy, I was fainting randomly, and I was always either lightheaded or my anemia was too low, or just like little things. And I'm not saying like I had the worst pregnancy in the world, but it was pretty bad to the point where like I fainted so many times. And one time I fainted in my own home, and I actually bruised my ribs, and it was on literally like where my belly was. And it's just times like that that really, I just wanted to give up, and it was so hard. And just the fainting, the fact that they didn't know what I was fainting, like they didn't know why I was fainting or what was causing me to faint, which was really stressful, and it was putting more like stress and anxiety into to my body. So it like really sucked. And my husband left when I was 32 weeks pregnant. At the time, I ended up getting separation anxiety from him leaving all the time. So I either always, like, some of my friends would sleep over all the time. Not all the time, but whenever they could. And it sucked. Like, it just sucks so bad. I'm trying not to cry in this video. I'm trying to like talk about it without crying, but 2019 really, I went through it. I went through it so bad, and I'm just so happy that I've come this far. I mean, 2019 was just not bad stuff, but most of it, like, I went through it. But yeah, so I developed separation anxiety because my husband was leaving a lot, and like I said, he left when I was 32 weeks. So then I remember the day he left, December 17th, and my parents came December 18th because they knew that I was fainting a lot, and they didn't want me to just randomly like faint one day and I didn't have no type of help, and I actually like injured myself further, like, you know, they didn't want like anything bad to happen to me. And yeah, like, it helped a lot that my parents were here. Don't get me wrong, like, having them here was such a big help, and I can never repay them for what they did for me. Like, they literally just dropped everything and came over here for like 2.5 months. Yeah, so after my son was born, he was born January 26th. He'll be a year this month. Life was great. I wasn't depressed. Didn't hit postpartum depression until he turned about 3 months old. Once he turned 2 weeks, I left to Cali with my parents, and we were there for my whole maternity leave, which was like 2.5 months I was there. I left and I ended up leaving like the beginning of April. I had to go back to work like April 20 something. I can't remember what day exactly, but it was like April 20 something. So I left 2 weeks before I had to come to work because I wanted to get into like a schedule with the baby and everything, since Virginia is 3 hours ahead of California. I wanted to make sure that Antonio wasn't like the time difference wasn't affecting him and stuff. And my parents didn't come back with me, and my husband was still on deployment. And I remember the whole month of February, well, not the whole month of February, but like for a whole week we were arguing. We were arguing, and I really went through it. Like, I guess I was just sad already, but just like the arguing and the fact that like we were arguing because my husband didn't know how to express himself, for the fact that he was missing somebody that he didn't know, like, you know what I mean. Yes, my husband wasn't there for the birth. Yeah, so my husband wasn't there for the birth. He actually didn't get to meet Antonio until he was about to be 6 months old. But yeah, so after February, it was March, and I was in Cali the whole month of March. And then that's when I came back, and everything just went downhill from there. I stopped breastfeeding at 3.5 months, almost 4. And at first I didn't know why I stopped producing milk. I just came back from Cali and I wasn't producing enough to feed him, so I had to feed him bottles. And I have nothing against formula. It just, my goal was always to breastfeed until at least 6 months. So the fact that I had to cut my goal and stop breastfeeding because I couldn't produce any more milk for him kind of sucked, and made, I guess you could say that's where everything started. And I didn't realize that I was so sad, and like that I was sad and just in a very dark time in my life. I just think that I really was hard on myself. I just feel that I was way too hard on myself. It's just that factor, and the fact that I was by myself. It was just me and my son. And yeah, I did have my friends, and I would go out with them here and there and hang out with them here and there, but it's hard. Like, my husband's my best friend, and it just sucked that I literally had to raise somebody for the first time by myself. And I know a bunch of people do it, and there's a lot of single moms, but when you do this job, and like, he was on deployment and anything could happen in deployment, and part of me was just scared all the time that something was going to happen, and part of me was scared that I was just gonna be a horrible mom, and I was just sad all the time. And I remember that I could just wake up some days, make breakfast, and just staring at Antonio I would just start bawling my eyes off. And it wasn't because I was sad at that moment. It was because I was so overjoyed of happiness. Like, I was so happy, I overwhelmed myself. Like, the happiness that I felt at that moment was so overwhelming that I'll just cry, and I wouldn't be able to stop crying. And it was because I would have little moments like that. So I didn't think much. I didn't think it was postpartum depression. I didn't think I was going through postpartum depression until it was too late. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell my parents until maybe Antonio was like 5.5 months, maybe 5.5, somewhere around there. And all I remember was that my parents were just like, why didn't you tell us? And like, what can you say to somebody? What can you say to somebody, like, how you're feeling? And especially when you don't even know what's going on. And I didn't know that I was going through depression, and I just wanted to be strong, and it sucked so badly not being able to talk to anybody about it, because I just didn't want to seem too weak, and I'd always put a happy face, and I'd always put that I was fine, and deep down inside I wasn't. I was going through it, and nobody knew. And it was just so hard, and there would be some days where I just wouldn't want to do anything, and I just wanted to be in bed, and I would literally force myself to stay in bed, and I would force Antonio to just fall asleep with me and just be in bed all day, and we would only get up when I had to make him a bottle, or when I had to change his diaper, or like his clothes, or when I had to pee. But at the time, like, I'd probably eat once a day if I was if I had the energy to do it, and it just sucked. And like, the whole time my husband was gone, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know, like, if the transition from him coming back was gonna be easy, and I didn't think, like, I was just thinking the worst, and my anxiety just went so bad, and I ended up getting help from a therapist. I want to say 2 weeks before my husband came back. I was going to my therapist 3 times a week. It was Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I remember my therapist just telling me that the first step was to accept that I was going through postpartum depression. And I remember I still couldn't accept it. Like, you hear about postpartum depression, and females that go through postpartum depressions, moms, and you're like, that can never be me, until it's you, and it sucks. Like, it genuinely sucks. I know that I felt like I was never going to get over this depression, and there were some days where I really thought that I was gonna just end up giving up one day. And I'm not saying that I was suicidal, because I wasn't, but I just thought that I was just gonna be sad forever, and that my sadness was just gonna eat me alive, like it was gonna eat me up. And I remember those few days, like the good days that I did have, and the days where I would cry from happiness, from being so overwhelmed of happiness from seeing my son outcomed, like, the bad days. And I remember my therapist just saying, like, it gets better, you need to accept it, and you need to, take control of your life. And once my husband came back, it was way easier. he started helping right away, and he would ask for help, of course, and he would try his best to help me, which was really great. And I started getting better. Just having him back really helped me control my emotions and my feelings, and I'm just really glad that it's over with and I've overcame this, and I now accept the fact that I had postpartum depression, and I know like that I am stronger than what I think I am, and I'm just happy that it's all over with, because those were probably some of the hardest months I've ever had to go through, and I didn't know I was going through them. I don't want you guys to like look at this video and pity me and feel sad for me, because at the end of the day I overcame it, and I know that there's a lot of moms watching my videos, and I just want you to know that postpartum depression isn't the end of the world, and not everybody gets it, and everyone gets it for different reasons. So don't just overwhelm yourself with waking up every night. Like, just remember to relax and give yourself time. I know, like, one little thing that I used to love was taking baths, and when he started sleeping through the day like a little longer, I take the time and take a bath, and for that moment I felt at peace, and I felt like, okay, I could do this. And yeah, I didn't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to get straight to the point and just, say my side of the story and how I dealt with postpartum depression. I know there's tons of stories of other women who had it worse than me, and I'm just glad that I was able to get the help that I needed, and that I was able to survive this. And I am so thankful for my husband for being there for every step of the way, for my family, and just, like, really getting through this and not thinking this was a setback and more of a learning experience. I am going to say that part of me is scared of giving birth again, just because I'm scared of getting postpartum depression again, even though this time around my husband will be here. But I'm just still scared, and whenever it happens, it'll happen. And I know I can't say I'll be prepared, because I'm not, and I won't be, but I know that there are resources to help me, and this time around I'll know the symptoms and I'll get the help earlier, and just, be strong again. But yeah, so that's all I really have to say. If you guys have any questions, you know, you could just leave them down in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. 2020 will be a great year. I can feel it. I have so many ideas, and I'm just excited for this new year, and it's going to be great. And I'm glad you guys get to follow me and watch me in this new journey, and the support means so much, and I'm just so excited for 2020. But yeah, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye.